This is a breaking update in the ongoing case of the missing Sullivan children from Nova Scotia. Nearly 9 months after Jack and Lilly Sullivan disappeared, police have confirmed a new arrest involving their stepfather. Authorities stress that these charges are not directly connected to the children's disappearance, but the development has renewed public attention on a case that remains unresolved. Police in Nova Scotia have confirmed a new arrest connected to the broader story surrounding the missing Sullivan children. On Monday morning, authorities took Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, into custody. Officials stress that this arrest relates to separate allegations and does not directly explain what happened to the 2 children, whose disappearance remains unsolved. According to RCMP, Martel, age 34, was arrested at approximately 11:30 a.m. He is facing charges of assault, forcible confinement, and a sexual offense involving an adult complainant. Police say the alleged incidents are unrelated to the children's case. Investigators confirmed that Martel's arrest followed an independent investigation. Authorities have been clear that the charges do not represent a change in how they are treating the disappearance of Jack and Lilly Sullivan. The children's case remains open, active, and under ongoing review by multiple police units. Martel was living with the Sullivan children and their mother at the time the children were reported missing. This fact has kept him in the public eye since the early days of the investigation, even as police repeatedly stated that no family member had been named a suspect. Officials emphasized that an arrest on unrelated charges does not imply responsibility for the disappearance of the children. Police urge the public to separate confirmed facts from speculation, especially as online discussion surrounding the case continues to grow. Martel is scheduled to appear in provincial court at a later date. The legal process for the new charges will proceed independently from the missing children investigation. Authorities say updates will be provided through official channels as court proceedings move forward. The disappearance of Jack and Lilly Sullivan was first reported on May 2, 2025. Their mother contacted emergency services, saying the children had wandered away from their rural home. A large-scale search effort began almost immediately. Search teams combed wooded areas near the family's residence, using ground crews, aerial support, and tracking dogs. Volunteers and professionals worked together for days, hoping to locate the children or find clear signs of where they might have gone. Despite the size and scope of the search, investigators found limited physical evidence. Police later confirmed that some items discovered during the operation were not considered relevant to determining the children's whereabouts. As days turned into weeks, the case drew regional, national, and eventually international attention. Media coverage increased and public interest intensified, placing continued pressure on investigators to provide answers. Authorities expanded the investigation beyond the immediate search area. Interviews were conducted with family members, neighbors, and others who might have had contact with the children before they vanished. Police also reviewed a significant number of tips submitted by the public. Each piece of information was evaluated, though officials say many tips did not lead to confirmed evidence or actionable leads. During the investigation, law enforcement used a range of tools, including interviews and specialized resources, to better understand the circumstances surrounding the disappearance. Officials maintain that every credible lead continues to be reviewed. In the months following the children's disappearance, online speculation increased. Police repeatedly asked the public to avoid spreading unverified claims, warning that misinformation could interfere with the investigation. Earlier this year, court documents related to family matters were made public, offering additional background about the household dynamics. Police clarified that these documents did not change the official status of the missing children case. Martel has publicly denied wrongdoing in past statements, responding to claims circulating online. Authorities note that public comments do not replace evidence gathered through formal investigations. Polygraph examinations were conducted with several individuals connected to the case. Police stated that these tests were part of broader investigative efforts and did not result in charges related to the children's disappearance. In October 2025, investigators reiterated that the case was not believed to be criminal in nature. That assessment remains unchanged, according to police, despite the recent arrest on unrelated matters. Officials say the priority remains finding Jack and Lilly Sullivan or determining what happened to them. The passage of time has not reduced the importance of the case or the commitment of investigators. The arrest of the children's stepfather marks a significant legal development, but police continue to separate it from the search for answers about the missing children. Authorities urge patience, responsibility, and reliance on confirmed information as the investigation continues. To understand why this new arrest is being described as unrelated, it helps to separate two tracks: the missing children investigation and a separate case involving an adult complainant. Police confirmed the arrest and the charges, but also made a clear point that the children's case status has not changed. That distinction matters because it prevents the public from assuming a direct link without evidence. The missing case began on May 2, 2025, when the children's mother called 911 and reported that the kids had wandered away from the home. From a logic standpoint, that initial report shaped the earliest response: search and rescue first, investigation second. When children are believed to have wandered, time is critical, so authorities focus on terrain, distance, and survival factors before anything else. Search teams spent weeks combing wooded areas around the rural property. The logic behind a grid search is to reduce uncertainty. You divide land into sections, then clear each section methodically. When a search yields very limited evidence, it doesn't prove nothing happened. It means there is not enough physical information to confirm the path, location, or direction. That's when a case often shifts from search operations to deeper investigative work. Over the months, police reported finding items like a child's shirt, a blanket, and a tricycle. The important detail is that investigators later said these items were not relevant to the disappearance. Logically, that suggests either the items could not be reliably tied to the timeline, or they did not produce usable forensic or situational clues. It also shows investigators are trying to avoid false leads that waste time. The use of specialized dogs was also reported. When dogs do not produce clear leads, it can mean several things: weather, time, terrain, or lack of a consistent scent trail. It does not automatically confirm any specific outcome. In a case like this, each method is one piece of a larger puzzle, and investigators typically combine search results with interviews, technology, and timeline reconstruction. As the case grew, public attention expanded quickly. The article notes heavy speculation online. From an investigative logic perspective, widespread speculation creates noise. It increases tips, but can also flood investigators with duplicate information or misinformation. That is why police regularly ask people to rely on verified updates. It protects the integrity of the investigation and reduces the risk of harming innocent people. The investigation involved multiple interviews and review of tips. This is a standard approach when physical evidence is limited. You build a human map of the last confirmed moments, who saw what and what changed. Even small details can matter, but they must be verified. The logical aim is to find consistent facts across independent sources, not just one account repeated many times online. The article references polygraph exams conducted with Martel and Brooks-Murray, with results described as truthful. Logically, it's important to understand what that means in practice. Investigators may use polygraph results as an investigative tool, not as a final conclusion. They can help guide follow-up questions, but they do not replace evidence. That's why police still say the case remains open and unresolved. The biological father, Cody Sullivan, also reportedly completed a polygraph exam and was deemed truthful. The article notes police said he had not seen the children for about 3 years. Logically, investigators still check all major connections, even if the relationship is distant. In missing child cases, authorities often verify timelines across all key adults because the goal is completeness, not suspicion by default. One of the most significant logical points is that RCMP previously stated the disappearance was not believed to be criminal in nature. That phrasing reflects an assessment based on the evidence available at that time, not a permanent ruling. Investigations can evolve. Still, the police repeated that position months later, which signals they were not seeing strong indicators that a criminal act was the most likely explanation. Now we add the new arrest, unrelated charges involving an adult complainant. The logical risk here is public confusion. People may treat the arrest as an answer to the missing children question. Police avoided that by explicitly separating the cases. This protects both investigations. It reduces prejudgment in the public, and it keeps attention on the correct question: where are the children, and what can be verified about their last known movements? The article also mentions newly unsealed court documents describing household conflict, including claims that Martel sometimes used physical control, such as blocking movement or taking a phone. From a logic perspective, these documents add context, but are not the same as proof of what happened to the children. Investigators must evaluate whether such details connect to the date of disappearance and whether any facts can be corroborated independently. Martel denied those allegations publicly, describing them as part of a narrative online. In a responsible analysis, denial alone is not proof, and allegations alone are not proof either. The logical method is evidence-based. What is documented? What is time-stamped? What is supported by more than one source? And what can be tested? That is why investigators focus on interviews, records, and verified timelines rather than social media arguments. The case also included media coverage and international attention. That can help in one way. More eyes can generate more tips, but it can also pressure families and witnesses. Logically, pressure changes behavior. People may misremember, exaggerate, or become afraid to speak. Investigators often have to weigh tip quantity against tip quality and prioritize leads that include specific, verifiable details like times, locations, or clear sightings. Consider the timeline gap: nearly 9 months without a confirmed location. In logic terms, the longer the gap, the more the case depends on early facts, because memories fade and environmental traces disappear. That makes it even more important to protect the accuracy of the initial timeline and to double-check the earliest statements, travel routes, and potential sightings. That is likely why investigators continue reviewing tips and conducting follow-ups. The article highlights that police found little that pointed to where the children are. This drives a crucial logical shift. When you do not have a reliable trail, you widen the circle: more interviews, more digital review, more regional coordination. That doesn't mean investigators assume the worst. It means they acknowledge uncertainty and use structured methods to reduce it, one verified fact at a time. Another key logic point is wording from police. I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. This is careful language. It means investigators are gathering information without publicly assigning blame. That approach helps preserve fairness and avoids contaminating witness statements. When the public labels suspects too early, it can distort testimony and create confirmation bias. Good investigations try to avoid that trap. So where does this leave the public? The new arrest is real and serious, but it is not presented as a resolution to the missing children mystery. Logically, the safest conclusion is the narrow one. A separate legal case is moving forward, while the children's case continues as an active investigation. Anything beyond that would be guesswork, and guesswork is exactly what police have asked people to avoid. For viewers, the most responsible way to follow updates is to track what changes in the official record. Court dates, confirmed statements from RCMP and any new verified evidence. The article notes the investigation is ongoing, and officials have repeated their focus on gathering information and making decisions based on what can be supported. That indicates the process is still moving, even if answers are not public yet. In summary, the logic is simple but important. 2 children remain missing. The investigation continues, and police have not publicly named a suspect. The stepfather's arrest involves an adult complainant and is described as unrelated to the disappearance. Until investigators announce a verified connection, the only responsible approach is to separate these developments, rely on confirmed facts, and keep attention on the children's unresolved case. Part 3 focuses on the household context described in court records and how investigators logically treat that information. Earlier this month, newly unsealed documents outlined aspects of the relationship between Daniel Martel and the children's mother. These details added background to the public narrative, but police have been careful to separate context from conclusions. Court documents included excerpts from police interviews conducted shortly after the children went missing. In those interviews, Brooks Murray was asked whether Martel had ever been physically controlling. Her statements described incidents such as blocking movement, holding her down, pushing, and taking her phone during arguments. From an investigative logic perspective, such statements are treated as reported experiences, not final findings. Investigators must evaluate when the incidents occurred, whether they were documented elsewhere, and whether they can be supported by independent evidence. Contextual information helps shape questions, but it does not automatically explain a separate event like a disappearance. The timing of these interview excerpts is important. They were taken days after the children were reported missing, when stress levels were high and details were still emerging. Investigators often revisit early interviews later to check consistency, not because they assume deception, but because memory and clarity change over time. Martel publicly denied the allegations described in the documents, stating they were part of a narrative portraying him negatively online. Logically, denial alone neither proves nor disproves claims. Police must rely on what can be verified through records, witnesses, and corroborated timelines, rather than public statements made under intense scrutiny. The article also highlights how online discussion escalated as details from the documents became public. From an analytical standpoint, this creates a risk of narrative drift, where assumptions spread faster than confirmed facts. Investigators typically try to limit the influence of public speculation to protect both the investigation and the people involved. Another key element mentioned is the use of polygraph examinations. Tests were conducted with Martel and Brooks Murray, and police said both results indicated truthfulness. Logically, polygraphs are not verdicts. They are tools that may help investigators decide where to look next, not where to stop looking. The children's biological father, Cody Sullivan, also completed a polygraph test in June 2025 and was considered truthful. Police noted he had not seen the children for approximately 3 years. Including him in testing reflects a standard investigative approach, confirming timelines across all major parental figures, regardless of recent contact. From a logic standpoint, this broad testing approach suggests investigators were not narrowing in on one person early. Instead, they were attempting to eliminate uncertainty across the entire family network. This is consistent with statements from police that no one had been formally named as a suspect. In October 2025, authorities reiterated that the case was not believed to be criminal in nature. That wording is analytical, not emotional. It reflects probability based on evidence at that time. Importantly, police repeated this position months after the disappearance, signaling consistency rather than a rushed conclusion. When viewed alongside the recent arrest, the distinction becomes critical. The charges involving Martel concern an adult complainant and were confirmed as unrelated. Logically, Police separated these announcements to avoid contaminating public understanding of the children's case with assumptions drawn from a different investigation. Household conflict, when documented, can raise public concern. However, investigators must determine relevance by asking specific questions. Did any reported incident occur near the date of disappearance? Is there evidence connecting household tension to the children's movements on that day? Without those links, context remains background, not cause. The article emphasizes that police found no evidence pointing to where the children went. From an analytical view, this absence of direction is one of the hardest challenges in missing child cases. Without a confirmed path or destination, investigators must rely on elimination, pattern analysis, and repeated review of early information. This is why authorities have continued to review tips, videos, and interviews long after the initial search ended. Logic dictates that even small inconsistencies or overlooked details can become important later, especially when physical evidence is minimal. Re-examination is not a sign of failure, but of persistence. Another important logic point is how police communicate uncertainty. Statements such as, "We wouldn't say anybody is a suspect," are deliberate. They prevent confirmation bias, both internally and publicly. When investigators keep categories open, they preserve flexibility to follow evidence wherever it leads. Public frustration often grows as time passes without answers. However, investigators measure progress differently than the public does. Progress may mean ruling out possibilities, confirming timelines, or determining what did not happen. Each of those steps reduces uncertainty, even if it does not immediately produce a visible breakthrough. The article also reminds viewers that extensive resources were used: interviews, search teams, dogs, and technical review. From a logic standpoint, the scale of effort suggests the case has not been deprioritized. Rather, it has shifted into a long-term investigative phase. Separating emotion from evidence is one of the hardest parts of cases involving children. Police messaging reflects this challenge. They acknowledge public concern while repeatedly asking people not to jump to conclusions. This balance is meant to protect the investigation and the children's chance of being found. As of now, the confirmed facts remain limited. 2 children are missing. An arrest has occurred in a separate matter. Household context has been documented but not legally connected to the disappearance. Anything beyond those points moves into interpretation, which investigators have avoided endorsing. In logical terms, Part 3 underscores restraint. The presence of conflict, court documents, and unrelated charges does not equal explanation. Until authorities announce a verified link, the responsible conclusion remains narrow. The case is unresolved. The investigation continues, and attention should remain focused on finding answers grounded in evidence. As of now, the disappearance of Jack and Lilly Sullivan remains unresolved. Despite months of searching, interviews, and review of evidence, investigators have not confirmed where the children are or what happened after they were last seen. Authorities continue to stress that the investigation is active and that all decisions are based on verified information, not speculation. The recent arrest connected to an adult complainant represents a separate legal process. Police have been clear that it does not change the current status of the missing children's case. What remains unchanged is the need for patience, accuracy, and focus on facts as the search for answers continues. At True Child Cases, the goal is simple: keep missing children visible without spreading rumors or unverified claims. If you believe these stories deserve careful attention, consider supporting the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing confirmed updates with others. Every responsible share helps ensure that cases like this are not forgotten and that the focus remains where it belongs: on the children.